from one guy that we won't see until probably the All-Star break, until another guy that, Alex,
his final year,
we won't be seeing after this next year. And that is tough. This is a tough one for me. Miguel Cabrera has announced he is retiring after the 2023 season. This is a guy that I have been around, honestly, the majority of my life.
Yeah.
My brother was drafted in, 2005, 2004, right? And in 2004, I'm 12 years old. I was up in Detroit a lot starting in 2006. At that point, I was 14 years old. Miguel Cabrera was there, and I was there for the entirety of that Detroit Tigers tenure with Justin, and I became teammates with Miguel Cabrera in spring training. We were in the same spring training lineup a couple of times. I pinch ran for Miguel Cabrera one time in spring training. I got to know him very well. And there's no doubt about it. Miguel Cabrera is one of the greatest of all time. And he is one of the most exciting guys to just watch on the field, because he has so much fun playing the game of baseball. And he really helped me in my career, especially when I was in college, because I would go up watch him play, and I had the fortune of hitting in a cage with Miguel Cabrera when I was a college player. I'd go up, we'd hit in the cage, we'd talk about hitting, but then I'd watch him play, and you just realize this guy, when the lights turn on and he steps between the white lines, everything that he's worked on, he just goes and plays, and he has so much fun. And when I watch Miguel Cabrera, and what I will think of when I think of Miguel Cabrera is, one, how great he was, and two, how much fun he had playing the game. And it taught me a lot. It taught me to, hey, just step back for a second and just remember this is a game. And you can't get too caught up in going over 2 or over 3 in your first few at-bats. Just keep having fun, keep going about your business, and just remember you're playing a game. And nobody does that better than Miggy. I mean, you look around, he's always messing around with kids in the stands. He's messing around with, I will never forget him and Adrian Beltre, the relationship that they had. And Miggy would just always touch Beltre's head as he would round the bases, and Beltre hated that, despised it. But the two of them had just so much fun on a baseball field. And now it's all coming to an end for Miggy, one of the greatest of all time. 3,000 hit club, 500 home run club, one of just 33 members of the 3,000 hit club, and one of just 28 members of the 500 home run club, and just the 7th to do both of those. The 7th all time to have 3,000 hits and 500 or more home runs, joining Hank Aaron, Alex Rodriguez, Albert Pujols, Willie Mays, Rafael Palmeiro, and Eddie Murray. Now that is quite the class to be in. So I'm excited for Miggy. It's been a tough last few years of his career, but not without the milestones that he's been on. He's been on a tear. It feels like the last couple of years, getting to 3,000 hits, getting to 500 home runs. It's been special. And of all those names I mentioned, 7 guys to have 3,000 hits and 500 home runs, Miggy will be just the 3rd to ever do it with an average over 300, a batting average over 300, with just Willie Mays and Hank Aaron being the other two. I mean, we're talking about one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, my first year covering the league in 2012 was when he won the Triple Crown. And he also has like a fun relationship with Albert Pujols. He was also, him and Mike Trout were kind of going back and forth in that conversation of the MVP. But I honestly love when players do this and they let everybody know that this is going to be their final year, because then teams and fans get to honor you. They get to celebrate you. And you really, I think, as a player and as a person, get to reflect on what this career and what this game meant to you. Each ballpark, if it's the last time you're there, you really get to be a part of that. Teams honor you. I remember when Jeter was doing his farewell tour, like every stadium he went to, they presented him with a gift. Like, it's a special thing that if you're able to do that, if you're lucky enough to reach that point in your career where you have accomplished everything that you want to accomplish, and you know that you've given the game everything that you have, and it feels right, and it's ready, and your time to step away, I think it's so magical and special for a player of his caliber to be able to do this and allow everybody to celebrate him.
I understand when players don't want to do it because they don't want to make it all about them on their way out, but I do think it's important to do it. I think it's important for the game of baseball. I think it's important for the player. I think it's important for the fans. I think it's awesome. And obviously you have to be a certain caliber player. Like, I won't name any names out there, but the strong majority of people shouldn't be like, all right, it's going to be my last year. Like, you have to be one of the all-time greats, and Miguel Cabrera is, and it's going to be a sad
celebration. Happy. We just saw Pujols do it. We knew it was going to be his last season, and he got to go back to the team that started the machine.
Yeah.
And it was this magical farewell tour, and you're able to have that opportunity as well.
Yeah,
I think it's special.
Absolutely. So Miguel Cabrera, this will be his final season, and one of the greatest of all time. Certainly, I'd say with Albert Pujols, these are the two greatest players of the generation. And one thing I think is cool, when you look back over the last 2 decades in baseball, and you point to names that you could say are all-time greats.
Yeah.
Right? You look at Miggy and Pujols, and then you look at Barry Bonds, Alex Rodriguez, and then, there are plenty of names you can sprinkle in that have been linked to steroids. But these two guys that we're talking about, Pujols and specifically Miggy now, because this is who we're talking about, never has been. And there's something extra special about that because he played through the steroid era.
Yep.
Right? Like, he came into the league while it was still very prevalent, and was never linked to it, and has always had, done it the right way. And, the retirement tour will be nice. It'll be special, but it'll be sad. The baseball world will be a sad place without Miggy, because he has been a bright spot in the game for a long, long time. But
do you think he'll be a unanimous first ballot Hall of Famer?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, absolutely. Well, voters
are weird.
Voters are weird. Voters are weird. Somebody's
Really?
Not. The only one is Mariano Rivera. They're like King Griffey Jr. Somebody voted no for him getting.
What about Albert Pujols? Because he just retired, so he's coming up in a couple years.
I want to believe they both are, and this is my problem. Like, I don't want to say it's my problem, but I believe there are certain names that absolutely should have been first ballot Hall of Famers. Mariano Rivera being one of them. King Griffey Jr. Derek Jeter should have been.
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
Albert Pujols, Miguel Cabrera.
Yeah.
Barry Bonds, but that's a different story for a different day. But I think Miggy is clearly first ballot Hall of Famer, but I think it should be unanimous. But because of I know their track record, and he probably won't be unanimous. Thanks for watching. If you love Flippin Bats, swinging 3-0, or just talking ball, join us. Call us at 213-537-9339 with your questions. We have a weekly guest, and we have a lot of fun, so hit that subscribe button.